To all of you at drboystv.com, the home for intelligent black people. Today on drboystv.com, we're going to talk about Russell Simmons and this interesting lawsuit that Russell has filed against his ex-wife, Kimora Lee Simmons, and some other parties. And it has to do with what Russell claims is an $800 million theft. So this nearly $1 billion alleged financial crime piqued my interest because it relates to money. It also relates to money and relationships. And as you guys know, I wrote a book called Financial Lovemaking years ago. You can find it on Amazon or at drboysbooks.com. And I've always been intrigued with how money and love kind of link together. So I'm going to break this down for you. Give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me. Do a quick audio check. Give me a quick yes in the chat if you can hear me. And also, I want you to buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on drboystv.com right now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to co-sign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboystv.com, the home for intelligent black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. So good to see everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Shout out the name of your city. Let me know what city you're from. I see David Fan. I see you in there. Kelly X. How much does he have left? I don't know. That's a good question, Kelly. Killer Psy. How you doing? Hear you loud and clear. Good to see you. Terrence Reed, Robert Harris, Orlando Smith, Johnny Johnson, David Fan. Oh, I just said David Fan. Terry Cobb out of Atlanta. Terry's always in here. Lisa Love from Pittsburgh. I hope y'all are done with all that construction in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, in case you haven't been to Pittsburgh, y'all, they have the messiest freaking highways I've ever seen. I get my GPS literally becomes schizophrenic when I get to Pittsburgh, but I love the city and I love the people there. So shout out to everybody in Pittsburgh. Also shout out to everybody in Houston. Houston is the home of Robin Simmons, who is a well-respected member of a Delta Sigma Theta sorority, and she was murdered by her husband, unfortunately. And I'm a little bit angry about it, to be honest with you. I put information about Robin's situation on my Instagram, Dr. Boyce Finance. You should go take a look. Everybody, please go take a look. And basically, Robin was stabbed by her husband 100 times, stabbed in the face 60 times in front of her daughter, in front of their 8-year-old daughter. She claimed that and here's the thing that bothered me. This is the part where I would love to see somebody like a Ben Crump or whoever get involved, is that while this was all happening, the police were right in the backyard. From what I understand, from what the media is reporting, the police were right there in the backyard, and they could not breach because they did not have enough officers working that day or something crazy like that. But she called 911, and they won't release the 911 tapes. I would like for them to release those tapes so people can hear it, so the public can hear her screaming on the phone that my husband's coming through the house with a knife trying to kill me and my daughter. And now this black woman's dead, and I believe it could have been prevented. So if you want to know what's got me going this week, that's it. I'm very upset about it. And Robin is a member of the B1 community, by the way. She spoke at our All Black National Convention in 2019 when we were in Houston. So just so you know, part of me is on the warpath in that regard, because we can't be having our black women out here. I mean, if y'all gonna get mad about George Floyd, y'all could get 10 times mad about a mother who didn't do nothing to nobody. Seriously, George Floyd, he was a conflicted guy, right? George Floyd had his issues. Robin didn't have no issues. Robin was just a good Delta, a good mom, a good human being. She was B1. I think the whole B1 community should rally in her support. And so that's what we're doing. That's what's going on. So you're going to hear more about that. So please look up Robin Simpson in Houston. And if you live in Houston and you're an activist in Houston, or you have any connection to activists in Houston, it's time for us to get locked and loaded and go deal with them police. All right. So anyway, guys, that's my quick little note for today. Do me a favor. Please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I'm going to talk about an interesting situation with another person that I happen to know named Russell Simmons. I haven't talked to Russell in a few years, but we've worked together very closely on an incarceration campaign years ago. And I saw that Russell has this lawsuit. So there's this lawsuit that is very interesting. Let me just say it's very interesting. It's a suit involving him and his wife, his ex-wife, Kimora Lee Simmons. He's suing Kimora allegedly for over $800 million that he claims that she stole. Now, $800 million is a lot of money. Now, I'm gonna read some details for you that I just sort of picked up. Basically, he sued Kimora and her husband, Tim Leisner, alleging they stole stocks from an energy drink company called Celsius to pay for Leisner's legal and bail fees. This was related to a 2018 money laundering case where Leisner, a former Goldman Sachs investment banker, pleaded guilty to criminal conspiracy to commit money laundering and agreed to forfeit nearly $44 million to avoid jail time. Russell claimed that they engaged in quote unquote blatant fraud to achieve their goal and sought punitive damages in the return of the nearly 4 million shares they allegedly stole, along with any legal fees associated with the lawsuit. Kimora Lee Simmons claims she's arguing against these fraud claims. Her legal team stated that Russell's allegations are baseless and that she was authorized to use the shares. They described Russell's behavior as aggressive and a distortion of facts, emphasizing the emotional and mental anguish he caused. Kimora's lawyers also mentioned that the shares are being held temporarily by the government as collateral for her husband's bond and will be returned. Now, here's one thing that here's where I wanted to talk about this today. First off, in case you don't know, I wrote a book years ago called Financial Lovemaking. The book is if you go to drboycebooks.com, you can get a copy, and it relates to the link between money and love. And as you guys know, my wife is a therapist who gives therapy to individuals, couples, and families. And so on issues of money and relationships, we talk about this a lot. Also, in our Black Financial Therapy department in the Black Business School, we've discussed extensively how blending money and family or money and relationships, how they sort of pick at each other. And if you're not careful, it can lead to just a lot of chaos in a lot of your families. A lot of divorces happen over money. A lot of family fighting happens over money. A lot of family members can't work together because of money. And it just kind of, or there's a lot of financial, what's the word? What word am I looking for? Betrayal that might occur. Like you loan money to a relative, they don't pay you back. So these topics are always interesting to me. So Russell seems to feel betrayed. He started this business with Kimora under this umbrella of love, and they said, we love each other, let's make money together. Celsius was founded in about 2005. It became a very successful venture. And what I find is that when you start businesses with people that you love, give me a yes if you've ever started a business. Give me a yes if you plan to. Give me a yes in the chat if you have somebody that you know, a friend or a family member that you're thinking about going into business with. Give me a yes if you are in this category. All the business owners in here, all the future business owners, say yes in the chat. Let's just put it into the universe because that's what I want to go out. I want to see you go out here and get this money. Well, one of the things that is interesting that I've seen is that when there is no money to be split, everybody's very generous. Everything's okay. Everything's, hunky dory. But then when you start making money, you get a new set of problems, and new set of problems might involve things like greed or people making side deals or whatever. I've seen this happen, for example, with musical groups where the group gets together and it's just 3-4 friends trying to make it big, and they got each other's back, no matter what. And then the group gets big, and then suddenly people start getting in your ear and saying, well, if it wasn't for you, this group wouldn't be where it is, or you should go over here and go solo, or this person ain't doing their job. They don't deserve none of the money, right? And next thing you know, the group breaks up because everybody's kind of got their own separate agenda because now there's a big pie to split, right? Let me know if you understand what I'm saying. Like now that there's money involved, all the conversations change, all the energy changes. I've seen people go from very humble to very arrogant, just like that, because they got a couple fans, got a couple dollars, and it's the craziest thing in the world to watch. Literally a transformation in a human being's behavior. And then when you throw in something like divorce, where suddenly you've got, you're no longer the love of their life. They have another person they love, and that other person is stepping in saying, okay, well, I have my say because, the first person is like, well, wait, who the hell are you? Why are you even here? Like you don't have any say in this family, right? But they kind of do because that's the new husband, that's the new wife, and then it just gets kind of crazy, right? And a lot of you deal with this maybe if you've ever dealt with a situation where you were dealing with a baby's mama or a baby daddy situation, and this is why I argue that you have to be really thoughtful about how you build your family. families. I think it requires intelligence, foresight, discipline, and training. In fact, I believe that anybody who wants to have a healthy family should probably get their therapy, clean up your shit before you build a family, so your kids aren't born in the middle of shit. Like, I see this all the time. I see it, our daughters have friends and their parents are going at it and having issues and stuff. And my heart goes out to all of them. It really does. And I have nothing negative to say about any of them, but it makes me feel very sad for the kids, because it's hard enough to be a teenager or a 12-year-old without seeing your mother and your father fighting every morning on your way to school. I mean, that's devastating, right? So I would encourage anybody who loves their kids and loves their family and cares about peace and understands that peace leads to prosperity, that chaos builds nothing, to just understand that it's important that you gain the wisdom and maturity to understand that you have to be able to submit to something bigger than yourself. Everybody in a relationship has to submit to the relationship, whether you're talking about a husband, wife, a family scenario, a business, a basketball team, whatever, anything you do as a group, even if you gang affiliated, even if you're a Crip, you got to submit to the Crips more than you submit to yourself. You can't be a selfish Crip. You can't be a selfish soldier. You can't be a selfish player for the Dallas Cowboys. You have to be submitted to the team. And that's hard for people to do, right? That's hard for people to do. So what I see here is that Russell and Kimora were an amazing team. I really believe that. I never met Kimora. I talked to Russell quite often when we worked together on the incarceration campaign back in 2013. I'm going to say this, and you can take it for what it's worth. I was really impressed. Out of all the celebrities I've met through the years, I'm not kidding, and I've sat next to a few, Russell was the most impressive human being that I worked with. I don't know nothing about, I know that people conflate things with allegations about stuff that allegedly happened sexually 30 years ago, or his daughters, I think, were mad at him and they were on social media kind of talking bad about their father. That which could, by the way, be a case of parental alienation. That happens all the time. Let me know if you've ever seen this. There are children out here who've been turned against their non-custodial parent because they got their mama right in their ear, talking about how he broke my heart and he's a terrible person and blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not trying to say it doesn't happen. I'm just trying to say that I don't believe children need to know a whole lot about your adult relationship. I just don't think it's appropriate. The 13-year-old daughter should not be able to tell you about all of daddy's dirt, or the 13-year-old son should not know that daddy broke mama's heart and dumped him for the secretary. I don't believe children need to know these things. That's just, but then again, maybe I'm old-fashioned in that way, but I think you should not pollute your child's brain with your relationship problems. The fact that you chose to be with a bad woman or you chose to be with a bad man. No, don't you ever say, sit your son down and be like, well, let me tell you, son, your mama's a hoe. No, you don't do that. you pick that woman. So stop that. So anyway, so with Russell, I will say that that this case is interesting to me also because I want you to pay attention to the contrast in the response. If you look up in mainstream media, if you look up the name Russell Simmons, you'll see nothing about this lawsuit that he's filed against his wife. You'll see nothing about the fact that she allegedly stole, according to Russell, $800 million from him. You will see nothing about that in any of the magazines. I did a search. In fact, I'd like to show you guys the screenshot when I searched for under news. And I looked up the name Russell Simmons and I said, I wonder if any white stream media is covering any of this case. And if they're talking about Russell, what are they talking about? I'm gonna pull this up on the screen in a minute so you guys can see it. But let me just tell you, I'm gonna give you a precursor of what I saw. Basically, sorry, I have to remove myself from the thing. Sorry. Basically, are y'all hearing the echo? There's going to be an echo for like half a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be real ghetto real quick because I really want to show y'all this screenshot. So forgive the echo. It'll go away in a second. I promise you. All right. Okay. I think I got the echoes gone. Sorry about that, everybody. My apologies. Oh, there is no echo. Okay. Thank you, Feet Funkerson. I appreciate y'all being patient with me. So I hope it's worthwhile. So let me show you. I did a Google search of everything I could find on Russell Simmons right now. And let me show you what I saw. Look at these these are all the headlines on Russell Simmons right now, even with the fact that his wife allegedly stole almost $1 billion from him, according to Russell. Let's see. Russell Simmons speaks out on sexual assault allegations, claims he's taken 9 lie detector tests. Russell Simmons speaks out on 2017 rape assault allegations. The climate was different. Russell Simmons talks about sexual assault claims, says he's taken 9 lie detector tests. Russell Simmons says he took 9 lie detector tests amid sexual assault allegations. Russell Simmons says Oprah's withdrawal from 2020 doc vindicates him. So here's what I want to point out here. I want you to notice how differently the world reacts when a black man is accused of a crime versus when the black man is the accuser. See, do you understand? I want you to notice the difference between, how the world reacted when somebody, made a claim against Russell, and I'm not here to say that he's innocent. I don't know. I've never been around when the man was sleeping with anybody. But I think it's very fascinating to me that when someone makes a claim, even if the claim is completely unproven, no facts, no evidence, no nothing, no police reports, no nothing, that the media will immediately run with that. But when he steps out and says, well, this also happened to me, I was a victim here too. I didn't get assaulted. Nobody sexually assaulted me, but someone financially assaulted me, somebody emotionally assaulted me, somebody harmed and abused me. And there's no coverage, no concern at all. Does anybody have an issue with that, or does everybody just think that it's no big deal? That because I want you to just really understand how biased the playing field gets. There's really nothing I could accuse a woman of that would get, especially with no proof that happened 20, 30 years ago, that would get me a $10 million payday in the courtroom. There is none. There's nothing I could say that a woman did to me and then have no evidence. Like if I say, well, 30 years ago, she raped me. If I wanted to say that, or she forced me to have sex with her, somebody would probably force me to prove that. They would say, well, you can't just go ruin Oprah's reputation by saying Oprah did this to you. You have to prove things. And I can say, let's say I can prove that we were dating. Like 30 years ago, we were a hot commodity, and I stayed with her for 5 years, and I only stayed with her because she had money, and I was scared that if I left the relationship that she was going to stop paying my rent. So I stayed with her against my will, and I was a drug addict at the time, but it's only because Oprah made me use drugs. Tell me, does that sound ridiculous? Would that sound crazy for me to say that as a man? How crazy does that sound for me to say that? But the interesting thing about that is that there are women who are saying things like this, right? And so I'm not sitting here trying to say that Russell Simmons has never harmed anyone. I'm simply saying that the fundamental question to be asked is, what does a black man have to do to prove that he didn't actually do it? Is there nothing he can do to prove he didn't do it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, how do you prove? Like, if I say, Lisa Love, I see you in the chat. Lisa Love stole all my money last year. Lisa Love, she stole my money and she pinched my booty, and I'm traumatized. And so I want to go to sue Lisa for $85 million because my pain and suffering is worth so much money. How does Lisa prove? Let's say everyone just believes me because I'm Dr. Boyce, and Dr. Boyce can't make up a story, right? And Lisa's like, but I never did this. There's no evidence. And people are like, no, but Dr. Boyce said you did it. You need to take accountability. And Lisa's like, but I did take accountability. I'm telling you, it didn't happen. No. You need to prove it. Okay. So let's say Lisa's like, okay, I took a lie detector test. I took 8 of them, and they said I didn't do it. No, but Dr. Boyce said Dr. Boyce said you pinched his booty and took $10 million from him or whatever it was. So it must be true. Do you understand? Yeah, I mean, I just want you to really switch around the gender and just really understand the bias of how these accusations are kind of occurring and the unfairness of it all. So I'm going to say this. I think that Russell has an interesting point. I think that that his lawsuit is something, that obviously is going to get resolved in court and things like that. I'm also going to say this again, when I tell you that I was super impressed. Like when they described, let me explain. Let me just I'm going to give a quick breakdown of what happened here in terms of how this company got built, and at least what's sort of been said about the development of this company. But before I do that, could you please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. You're watching drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. Also, the Black Wealth Calendar for 2024 is out. If you'd like to get a Black Wealth calendar in time for Christmas, just go to drboycebooks.com, search for the word calendar, and if you use the code word book club, you can actually get 30% off. So they make great gifts. So it's not just a calendar; it's financial literacy training that you can put on the refrigerator every morning. So the kids are getting financial information early. It'll make a difference for their life. It doesn't cost much, but it makes a massive difference in their future. So as a college professor who taught finance, I'm always looking for little simple things we can do that's going to really increase our economic situation. And so this is one of those little things, just kind of drip those little thoughts, those little concepts in front of the kids, in front of the grandkids, and it's going to make a massive difference. So feel free to go to drboycebooks.com. You can get that, the calendar, also that book for my class that starts January 1st, the financial consciousness class. I'm going to do 30 straight days, 10 a.m., 7 days a week, so we can form new habits. It takes 30 days to form new habits. Every day we're going to go through my book, 30 Days to Wealth and Power. It's an economic empowerment journal where you're going to journal your thoughts and focus and vision, your financial vision, so we can get you where you want to be economically. And so the class is $2.99, but it's free if you buy a copy of the book. Right now, the class is sold out, but we do have e-copies of the book. So if you go to drboycebooks.com, look up 30 days, and you can download an e-copy. And everyone who gets an e-copy, I'll let you into the class too. So feel free to go to drboycebooks.com. Okay, so let me read a little bit about Celsius, this company that Kimora and Russell started together. So here's a little bit of history. It was founded about 2004, 2005 by Greg Horn, the former CEO of GNC. The company was initially named Elite FX, focusing on the development and marketing of a new energy drink. The Celsius energy drink was officially launched in 2005. It was marketed as a negative calorie drink because of its thermogenic properties. It was rebranded in 2007. They changed their name to Celsius Holdings Incorporated to align more closely with its flagship product. This period also marked the beginning of significant expansion, with the product being distributed in various retail outlets. In 2007 and 2012, Celsius funded several clinical studies to validate its health claims. These studies, conducted between 2007 and 2012, suggested that drinking Celsius could reduce body fat, increase endurance, and provide other health benefits, which became a unique selling point. All around the world, Celsius kind of everywhere in Europe and Asia. 2015 to 2020, they formed a lot of strategic partnerships and received endorsements from celebrities and athletes. This is one of the big things Russell referenced actually in this video. I'm going to play this video for you guys of Russell describing what happened here. I forgot to share this video. So let me share this video. And Russell kind of gives you a history of the Celsius drink, as well as the lawsuit and kind of what's going on here. If you could do me a favor really quick, please hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. Also, don't forget this podcast is on Spotify and Apple. So you can look up my name on Spotify and Apple, and also on Audible. My book, Financial Lovemaking, is on Audible. So here is Russell Simmons talking about the lawsuit, the drink, everything else. Here you go.
You like as a partner in marriage? I must have been a partner of what I hear. No, I was very generous and tried to be supportive. We were together 15 years, Kimora and I. And for 8 years, we were married. Another 7 before that, we were back and forth. And then I was best friends with Kimora throughout the entire raising of my children. I'm the godfather to all 3 of her other children. I was good friends with Jaimin. I was good friends with this Tim Leisner. So I tried to be as flexible and as accommodating and supportive. And then, sometimes things don't work out. You've seen there's a lawsuit. I had no choice. I think Jesus Christ, Muhammad, Lord Buddha, anybody would have sued. What? It's a lot of money, and it can help a lot of people. She gave what is now, today, based on the stock, $800 million to the government illegally. And now I'm fighting to get my half of it back. And it was in support of Tim, who, as you know, is a convicted criminal. And they stole, I think it was $6 to $8 billion from the Malaysian people. And his bail was my stock, which had no right to be.
Kimora alleges that you didn't use any of your own money to buy the stock. You didn't use
not alleges. Tim paid for stock.
Own money to
Tim bought the stock.
Invest in her investment company?
It was my company. Tim put money in my company and we bought the stock. It's obvious. The government will figure that out. It was mine. I found the company. I built the company. I reformulated the drink. I got LeBron and Kobe and Kim Kardashian and Puffy and everybody to promote it. It was nothing, and now it's worth $16 billion, right? And I was part of that process. In fact, it would never have existed if not for me. That's a fact. So I did the work, and I owned the stock, and then one day they just took it behind my back and gave it to the government as his bail. And then it was only worth $60 or $70 million. And plenty of money for me. I'm a billionaire. I live in Bali. It's cheap. I have what I have. I'm happy. The fact that it's gone up, ballooned up to 800 million is quite maybe I should thank everybody if, when it gets all resolved. But in the short term, there are people I can't help. There are philanthropic, social, and political concerns that I would normally help.
What are the steps that have to happen?
Well, I don't even go into legality. Yeah. Well, the government has now moved back and said they want to negotiate. They don't want to go to trial over it because they want to go to forfeiture. So they said they're going to negotiate. We hope that we can make a reasonable. I hate that I give them anything. I offered them 10% of my half. And then she's sitting on a bunch of it that she can't cash either. So the stock is totally at the mercy of the market, how much money it is. Mm-hmm. And it goes up sometimes what's equal to $100 million and down. I built this hotel thinking I had the stock too. So from a liquidity standpoint, it really put a crunch on me.
How so?
No liquidity. I can't go do a lot of I didn't make rapper money like Kanye West. I was a different era. But I made enough. And yes, there's a liquidity crunch. It's there. It's not, I'll survive.
All right. So, okay. So Russell, let me just say this. When Russell was speaking about bringing along, LeBron and all these celebrities, I saw that firsthand. If you go and you look at the letter I wrote to President Obama in 2013, where I was asking him to change the incarceration policies, the letter needed more muscle than I could provide. I mean, I could get activists and scholars and all that, which I did. Russell brought the celebrity power. So Russell got, on this letter, probably, I'm going to guess, 100 celebrities to sign this letter. And it wasn't, I wasn't sure when I first started working with him. I was not sure how much integrity he had. I didn't know the man, and so I said, well, let's just see. I'm very skeptical of celebrities, to be honest with you. A lot of them ain't worth the weight of, ain't worth 10 cents, to be honest with you. They just, we just think that they're special because white people put them on TV. But this is a guy who operated with tremendous integrity in that situation. I was really impressed. It's hard to impress me. I got to go find the list, but I remember I looked down the list and these were not B-listers. These were A-list, Will and Jada, Chris Rock, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, Kim Kardashian, Justin Bieber, John Hamm, just all these people and a lot of black celebrities as well. I think LL Cool J was on the list. Like, I mean, it was really like a who's who list in terms of who he got to sign this letter. And so I could see Russell doing that. I think that that's his game plan. That's his power play. Because when I would talk to people in the hip hop music industry, one thing I observed was that Russell's the only person I ever saw where I never met a person in the entertainment industry who didn't like him. That's rare. That's because, remember, entertainment, especially hip hop, is a very toxic space. A lot of traumatized people, a lot of spoiled bastards who just, do horrible things to other people. That's why hip hop's going to have a lot of lawsuits, because they did a lot of crazy stuff in, between, let's say, 1990 and 2020. But Russell's the one guy who just, everybody was like, oh yeah, I like Russell. Russell, I don't like him, but Russell cool though. It's like, oh wow. So this guy, and what it is that he's embraced like all these really very metaphysical concepts. Like he's into Buddhism and peace and harmony. And he talked about he actually said he wanted to do a project where he was going to go to the kids in Chicago that were in the middle of all this violence and teach them conflict resolution. And so and I'll say this, the project that we did, we got a lot of guys out of prison. We got the Obama administration to eventually fold. They tried to put pressure on Russell. They tried to run the same game they run with all the celebrities. The reason your black celebrities never really do anything for the black community, and definitely during the Obama presidency, is because they all wanted to be cool with Obama. They all wanted to be seen in pictures and get invited to the Christmas parties. So the black community would get thrown under the bus. Russell impressed me, and I don't say this lightly. I have no incentive to say this. I do not. This man ain't giving me no money. We ain't talked for years. I'm only telling you the truth. But Russell literally was one of the few celebrities I've seen who said, no, the black community is more important than me getting invited to your, your stupid Christmas party. Like that was literally the kind of language he used when he talked about what was really going on, because they did not want to do much of anything on this, idea, and it was very surprising to me because Obama had made that promise that he was going to change the incarceration policies, him and Eric Holder, but a lot of politicians just do a lot of yapping. That's why I don't have a lot of faith in politicians. I believe in you. I believe that we have the solutions that we need. I think that our implementation of these solutions is what's going to get our community where we need to go. I don't believe every black person is going to get it, because too many of our people are stuck on hero worship and following along with politicians and corrupt pastors and just people because the pastors are in the pockets of the politicians, right? The pastors and the rappers kind of have the same job. Their job is to be the mouthpiece for the politicians. So long story short, I brought up this whole situation with Russell and the lawsuit to kind of make a simple point. I want you to observe just the difference in how we behave when a black man has an allegation versus when someone has an allegation against a black man. And nobody, no one really hears us, and I have back and forth sometimes with guys that they say things about black women that are a little bit too harsh, and they approach the struggles of black women with very little empathy, and they complain about black women all day long. And I don't think that's appropriate. I kind of say, come on, man, like you got to at least try to contextualize things before you can be heard. You got to make sure that you're hearing them before everyone's going to hear you. But at the same time, though, they have a legitimate point in the sense that nobody listens to the black man like that. Nobody listens to black men. Nobody, everybody, the whole world will hear it if somebody accuses a black man of something, but nobody hears it when a black man says, "Hey, I was a victim, man. This was wrong. This lady did me wrong." And they're like, "Well, did she rape you?" It's like, well, no, she didn't rape me, because that's not hard. That's hard for her to do. But women have other ways of harming men. Give me a yes if you understand what I'm saying. That a woman can destroy a man, right? We've seen this. Well, and typically women don't destroy you by with sexual assault. They'll get you by assaulting your character. They'll assault your bank account. They will assault your reputation. They will assault your peace of mind. Y'all women are powerful and strong. And I think that makes me the ultimate feminist, because I'm sitting here simply telling you, yeah, women are powerful, and power don't always mean you good. Power does not always mean you innocent. Power don't always mean you the victim. How you supposed to be so powerful, but yet you always the victim? That don't sound powerful to me. That sounds like you're disabled or something. No, I don't believe women are I believe women are powerful. So I think that in the full acknowledgement of the power of women, we must accept a basic idea. Give me a yes if you can at least hear this basic idea. The basic idea is that men can hurt women, but women can hurt men. Is that idea something that you can consider? Give me a yes if you can. If that basic idea is something you can consider, that men can do bad things, women can do bad things too. What do you think? Yes or no? Is that okay to say that, or is that politically incorrect? Or that men can lie, men can tell a lie, and women can tell a lie too. Is that true, or is that false? Or am I just talking crazy? Am I a sexist right now? Like what's and I think that it's up because and it's crazy you have to say these things, because I remember. Does anybody remember that? Well, they had the campaign that said "Believe all women," and that just doesn't pass the logic test to me. I'm like, I'm supposed to believe you because you got a vagina? Like, is there a truth serum inside her vagina that makes her incapable of ever telling a lie? Is that what it is? Women don't lie. Wow. That sounds crazy to me. That's so, I can't stop laughing when you say something like that, and you're saying it with a straight face. Believe all women. No, I don't believe all women. I believe all evidence. I believe, I give everybody a chance. I believe all facts. I believe all things that can be proven. I don't believe all women. I don't believe all men. And I think that this is part of the divide in our country, is that everybody's being put in these extremist camps, right? Either you hate women, or you think women can never tell a lie, right? and those extremist camps, extremists end up, to me, the extremists are the stupid people. If I'm going to be an extremist, I want to be an extremist when it comes to being committed to finding out the truth. That's it. I'm an extremist when it comes to finding good solutions. I'm an extremist when it comes to doing the right thing. I'm an extremist when it comes to making sense. Right. So yeah, that's where I would be an extremist. I'm also an extremist in that I'm not going to be an extremist, right? I'm extremely committed to the idea that I do not want to be an extremist in issues that have a lot of nuance and delicate conversations that need to be had. And maybe there are only some people capable or intelligent enough to have those nuanced conversations, right? Maybe that's it. Maybe those of you that understand that are hearing what I'm saying, maybe we're just different. Maybe we just, we see things that other people don't see, and you have to acknowledge that. And I encourage you to stand in that power and don't let anybody drag you into some extremism that's not based on reality, fairness, or fact. So again, just to be clear, I'm not here trying to explain away Russell Simmons' whole life. I don't know anything about anything that he's ever had going on with any woman, none of that stuff. I don't know nothing about his relationship with his daughters. I'm only speaking with honesty about what I saw. I saw a guy that was super peaceful. You'd have to work real hard to pick a fight with Russell. I mean, really, he only knew me because I'd criticized him before. And I said, I've never seen a person who can talk to a critic and not take it personal. I was really stunned by that. I was like, wow, I feel almost embarrassed. Like, I feel bad for talking bad about the guy because I really like him, and then he followed through and he really was committed to the cause. He didn't just talk. Some of these guys just talk, like Diddy. Diddy kind of always trying to be flashy. I hate that stuff. I hate it. I like substance, and Russell had substance, so I think his lawsuit, I think that it should be heard. I think also his daughters, I couldn't help but wonder if his daughters were victims of parental alienation. Perhaps they have been pitted against their father. That happens a lot. We don't talk about that enough. Also, I think any allegations against him on any other level should be proven. And his 9 lie detector tests, if they were given by an independent authority, should be considered to be just as relevant as somebody telling the story. Right. If she can be believed when she never took a lie detector test, when she had no evidence or whatever, then he should be believed when he took 9 lie detector tests, and whatever. And it should be innocent until proven guilty. And somehow we forget that. I don't understand how a person with no proof who never took a lie detector test would be believed over somebody who took 9 lie detector tests. Especially if they were given by an independent authority. I don't see. And again, this is the gender bias that exists. There is a bias against the black man in general. And I think it shows up in this particular case, but it shows up all throughout society, and I don't think we hear black men enough. And let me just give you a little tip. This is Uncle Boyce talking. I hope it's okay if I share this. Ladies, if you really want a man to love and trust you, a good man, if you really hear him and listen to him and don't judge him, I think he'll be more loyal to you than if you just sound like everybody else. I heard a guy that said something that was really interesting. He said, one of the reasons that I can't open up to you as my woman is because if I tell you how I feel, you'll spend so much time telling me how you feel about what I feel, or you'll make it all about you to the point where I wasn't even heard because now I've offended you by sharing my feelings with you. And so I think that these are real legit skills that if a woman, it's much more important than like twerking and all this other dumb stuff that people do to try to get men's attention. That'll get their attention, but it's not the right kind of attention. It'll get you attention, but it won't get you love. In my experience, I think what gets you love is that ability to trust. If he can really trust that you are a person that really cares about him, not just loves him. See, loving somebody's easy. Sometimes love is kind of an addiction. Right? Lust definitely is an addiction, and love can be a little bit of an addiction. I can love a car. I can love my dog. You know what? I love this cup of coffee. It is so good. But if you throw this cup of coffee into the garbage, I'm not going to be sad that it's gone. I'm just going to get another cup. So I love this cup of coffee, but I don't care about it. Right. But I do love it. It's really good. I make my coffee really nice. But caring about somebody means that you support them, even if it does not benefit you. Right. I like me loving you means I might see you as a possession. I might just love being next to you. I might love what you can do for me. But if I care about you, that's hard. That's really hard. That's really rare. That requires, I think, a spiritual elevation. Like if you care about somebody, that means you're willing to support them, even if they're about to do something that isn't going to help you at all, that isn't in your interest. So my goal with my wife was not to love her. Sure, I love her. It's easy for me to love. I've loved other women. My goal is to really care about her. And me caring about her means that all the things inside of me that make me selfish, I have to let some of that go in order to do what's best for her. So so theoretically, if I could really do what I really would like to do, if I knew in my heart that there was another man that was better for my wife than me, I would I would be okay with that. I would let that happen, because if I really claim to care about her and her happiness and well-being, I should want what's best for her, even if it's not in my best interest. How often do you ever see that, though? I mean, that doesn't even make sense. That's almost illogical, right? That's almost anti-self-preservation, right? And that's what human beings are built on, right? No, I got to do what's best for me. Like, so even if I'm the worst man in the world for you, I need you right here because you're mine. You're my possession. And I just that's old. That's boring to me. The human beings are always trying to own each other. And I don't want to own my wife. I want my wife to be happy. So I'm going to figure out what's going to make her happy, what she wants and who she's trying to be. And I'm going to support that. That's what I do with the kids too. It's like, I'm not here to tell you to be like me or to do what I tell you to do or do what I want you to do. I want to find out who you are, what's going to fill your soul. And if I really care about you, I'm going to support you in that quest to fill your soul. I will never stand against anything that you're doing, as long as it's healthy, of course. I will never stand against anything that you love. Whatever you love is what I love, as long as it's not harmful. Like, if you're a serial killer or something like that, then we'd have to have another conversation. But if you love, like my youngest, she loves dance. Well, you know what? When we talk about dance, I love dance too. The oldest, he loved video games. I got into video games because I wanted to connect to him. Do you understand? So I would encourage those of you who are listening, those who give a damn what I say, and you ain't got to, because I know sometimes I probably sound crazy. Learn how to care about somebody, not just love them. I think if you care about people, I think you're going to get a lot further. And then good people will have loyalty in return. That's what I have found. So anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This podcast is on Spotify, so you can go to Spotify or Apple. Just look up my name and find it there. Also, the Black Wealth calendars are available. If you go to drboycebooks.com, look up the word calendar. There's a search box at the top, and you can get the calendars. They'll make great Christmas gifts. You can get a bunch of them, give them away, to relatives and family members. And we also have financial flashcards for kids on the website as well, drboycebooks.com. Last but not least, if you'd like to get text alerts for when I find stocks that I like, things like that, every now and then I'll send out profit alerts. Just text the word stock to 31996. Text stock to 31996, and I'll send you guys a profit alert at least once a week. So God bless you. Thank you so much for listening. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, 10, 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.